So what's in the box?
Well, something kind of special.
Really?
Yeah.
Special stuff comes in boxes?
Well, we've shown some brass engines, and over the last few weeks we've been kind of doing some brass engines. And we did a whole series on Delton brass engines, half-inch scale brass engines. Mm-hmm. And Delton was around for a while, and then they kind of evolved into other things. And the plastic engines are still made, and the brass engines are still highly collectible. And there's certain people, like Lenny Sloboda, that have made a whole science out of collecting Delton brass engines.
Wow.
So what we have in here, believe it or not, is a Delton brass model, not a locomotive. Now, how it would fit in there is,
I'm curious.
Very curious. Now, one of the models that they did was a fire wagon. A really, really neat horse-drawn fire wagon. And I don't know how many they were really intending to do. I don't know the whole backstory on that, but I do know they made 5 of them.
Oh, wow.
Only 5. And Sloboda has 1 of them. I might actually have 2 of them. So they don't come up for sale because the 5 people who have them, or the 4 people who have them, know who they are, and if somebody wants to buy one, you have to contact one of the people who actually has one.
Wow.
So I was pretty surprised when on eBay came up a Delton fire wagon. And it's like, okay. And so I contacted the person through the little link there on eBay and said, just what exactly are you selling? And he didn't have any decent pictures. And he said, well, I don't have decent pictures because somebody took it apart. Somebody took it apart. He says, yeah, it's really just a big box of parts. And if you get this, you're going to have to put it together.
Whatever it is.
And he says, and I'm pretty sure that all the parts aren't there. Because it should have a whole bunch of horses, and it doesn't, and I can tell that it's missing, but it's got extra parts. It's got 2 of some parts and not enough of other parts, and I was going to put it together, but if there isn't enough parts there to put one together, so I'm just going to sell it. It's like, who would take a very expensive, very exclusive brass model and take it apart? What in the heck is going on? So I bought it.
Gotta see.
I'm like that.
Yes.
I bought it, and it came, and here
And there it is.
So here's what came. Here's one of the horses.
Wow.
Now, and you can see that it's got the little nubs here from casting when the brass was inserted in there. So it's never been cleaned up or anything done with it. So it's like, well, what the heck is this thing? And
I'll hold your horsey.
you hold the horsey.
Hold the horses here.
Hold the horses. And
it's heavy.
it's really heavy.
Ooh.
Some of the railings here.
Oh, look at this.
And these are not cast. And I'm looking going, but this should be cast, but it's bar stock and it's all soldered together.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, well, is that how they made those? I don't think so. I think they probably would have made a mold and cast it.
Well, it would have been easier
So
for
what's with that?
Oh
and
my,
then
yeah.
cast wheels.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what in the heck is going on here? Here we have the main part of the fire wagon.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, what the heck?
Yes.
What the heck? And this is a cast bit here.
Right.
And I don't
the
know,
underside
what the heck?
of it.
And it's been painted and then stripped.
You can see underneath where they've cut it.
And
Oh my.
and then I'm looking at, there's another boiler. There's a boiler there. There's a boiler here. And that one's cast.
Right.
This one's machined.
Ah.
What the heck? So this is all a machined turning up here.
Right.
And this is just a piece of brass tube. And that's been cut out. Where this one's different, the
It's
whole thing's cast.
Yes, you can.
And
look
it's
at
got
that.
a spider inside. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, well, what the heck is with all of these parts? And the seat. Mm-hmm. And then some of these are cast and some of these are machined.
Good
They're
heavens.
soldered and machined. And I'm going, what the heck? And I figured out what this is. Part of this is another model that they started putting together and never finished. A sixth one. And the rest of these pieces are the masters that they machined to make the molds off of.
Oh.
And it's like, holy crap. So this stuff came directly from Delton's, assembly.
Oh my goodness.
And what I have here are all the masters for the kit. This is another one of the masters for the frame rails and so on. Plus a failed model that they never finished for some reason.
Heavy.
It's really heavy.
Oh, solid brass. This just like what?
And that's all machined and hand
Yes.
assembled, where normally that would have been
a casting.
Yeah. So it's just really fascinating. Well, I thought, what I should do is make some new molds and build one of these. Finish the partially assembled one.
Right.
And finish it. But then I thought, if I heard about somebody doing a thing like that, it would sort of piss me off, because these are highly collectible.
Right.
The 5 of them that exist are worth thousands of dollars.
Oh my.
And should somebody be going out there and building a 6th one when there never was a 6th one, or there almost was a 6th one, does it make sense to finish this and add new parts that weren't part of the original run? And right now my thinking is no. I'm just keeping it
as is.
As is. It is what it is.
Exactly.
It's the production
Oh, my
masters,
goodness.
and it's a partially assembled, never finished 6th model.
Wow.
From that production run.
Isn't that crazy?
That never got done.
Wow.
And so there it is. I might try to figure out some interesting way to display it.
That could work.
Rather than keeping it in an Amazon box.
Yeah, because
But beyond that, my current thinking is I'm just going to build maybe a wall hanging or something that displays all of these parts.
Yeah, a shuttle box or something.
And trying to put a value on a thing like this is, if it were one of the 5 finished models.
Oh, yeah.
Sloboda says these things are worth between, I think he said, $2,000 to $4,000, depending.
Oh my goodness!
But the point is, the people who have them aren't selling them, so
no.
Who's to say?
Right.
And so there it is. There it is, a really weird and very interesting piece of history.
Right there.
Delton history.
Oh my.
And this definitely falls into the category of it is what it is.
Yes.
And like I say, I think what I'll do is just go ahead and make some sort of a picture frame shadow box display or something for it, and hang it on the wall in here, and and say it is what it is.
This is what it is.
It is what it is, and there it is.
Yes.
So
cool.
Isn't that interesting?
What a find on eBay.
What a find, yeah. And the person who had it had no idea where it came from or its history or anything.
No.
And a very interesting moment in time when Delton was making their brass engines.
Wow.
And they evolved into making plastic engines, and then that evolved into becoming a different company, and bought out by another company, and so on and so forth. So their C16, a bunch of their plastic models are still on the market as Aristo or whatever. But the brass engines, they were an era. They came, they went, and a very select number of them were made, and they're collected by a certain group of people who are willing to collect those kinds of things. But
there it is.
There's a really interesting sidebar on collecting Delton brass.
Treasure hunting on eBay.
Treasure hunting. You just never know what you're going to find.
Right.
And then when you get it, you may not be 100% sure of what you just got.
Right.
Well, if you're not a subscriber, do subscribe to the channel. We put up all kinds of fun and goofy things like this. And
Like
of course,
this.
you want to be notified when we put something
Yes.
up. And so subscribe and then click on your little notification bell. And then you will know whenever we upload something interesting.
Right.
And you can do all of that by clicking the subscribe button. Are you ready? Zoink! That button. It's the subscribe button. Well, we're not sure how you found this very informative movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you here on Sunday with our regular Sunday show. See you
We'll
then.
see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.